okay, you go kill your people, I'll kill my people, and we'll make art. Hi friends, it's me again. Welcome to November's reading wrap up. First, I'm gonna open this piece of mail because I know what it is and it has something to do with books. As you know, I started the Addicted series. We're going to talk about that today, actually. But I am a Reich Meadows girl. I love him. Literally the love of my life. I see everyone with these that have read the series, and I wanted one. It went on sale while I was reading the Addicted series, and I was like, yeah, I need one because these sell out so fast. It's from Boutique Co. Lovely, lovely human. Hold on, I'm going to put this on. I do have a t-shirt under here, so I'm not just stripping in public, in case you cared. Okay, so y'all know what time it is. We're gonna go through the books I read in November. Like I said in my last reading wrap up, this month was going to be very light for me because November sucked. School-wise, it was horrible. I'm still drowning in homework even though we just came from Thanksgiving break. Like, it's ridiculous. So I think I only read 7 books, which is fine. I think that's pretty good knowing that I had several mental breakdowns. Starting off strong this month, I read Addicted for Now, which is the 3rd book in the Addicted series. So remember in my last video, I was talking about this series and how I wasn't really connecting to it. The same thing kind of applied. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I read the book, I really, really liked it, but there were still some things in here where I felt like it was so dramatic and so over the top. And I just really had to adjust my mindset going into this. You are dealing with addiction. So there are some heavy topics brought up in this, but some of the plots surrounding that, I just find them very, very dramatic. And most of the time it frustrates me reading about. So that's where I struggled with this book a little bit. But basically we are back to Lily and Lo. Lo has returned from rehab. I almost cried because I missed him so much. He's back from rehab. He's trying to stay sober, and Lily herself is also trying to manage her sex addiction. I haven't cried reading one of the books from the series yet, but when I sit back and like talk about it and think about it, like I start getting teary-eyed just because like they've gone through so much already. The 3rd book definitely kind of changed my perspective on the entire series. Like, now I know how to go through this series, because with the first 2 books I was like, it's not that special, but now I know that I literally just have to change my mindset when reading this book because it's a lot to handle and it's done in a very dramatic way to me personally. If you have not picked up the Addicted series and you've been thinking about it, it's a wild ride and I'm still getting through it, but I feel like it's just something you're gonna have to see for yourself because I'm still having like wishy-washy feelings about it. So after Addicted for Now, it was only right to pick up November 9 because hello, it's November. This was my first time reading November 9. I have not read it, didn't know what it was really about. As you can see, I tabbed the shit out of it. Like, I was in love. November 9 follows Ben and Fallon. They meet on November 9, which is also a hard day for Fallon because she was in a really bad fire that kind of like really damaged her skin. So she has burn marks on her face and on her body. So she's never really liked November 9. Like, it's always been a traumatizing day for her. But then she meets Ben, and from the moment they met, the chemistry is there. Like, they're witty, the banter is amazing, Ben is so adorable. Fallon is moving away and Ben is staying in LA, so they decide that every year they meet up on November 9. Like, they don't stay in contact throughout the entire year. The only day that they can speak or see each other is on November 9. So it's over the course of like 5 or 6 years, and you're just following them falling in love, which is so crazy to think about because they only see each other one day of the year. But it was still so special. It was different, and that's what intrigued me about this. But I think I only gave this a 4 out of 5 because it wasn't my favorite, because I feel like them meeting only on one day of the year, at times it felt insta-lovey, and I was like, ugh, y'all know I'm about development and I like to see the tension like really build. So I really didn't get a lot of that. There was still tension and angst, like it just only happened one day of the year. That's why I'm saying I'm having a really hard time rating this book, because I love the characters and I love that the plot is so unique, but I also did not like the plot. This is definitely a book that I'm gonna read every year on November 9 for Ben Fallon Day. The quotes in here are some of my favorite things ever. It's so cute. Imagine that though, like only seeing someone that you like one day out of the year and not talking to them like between that time. Could not be me. Sorry, I'm pulling up to your house. After November 9, I went back to the Addicted series and picked up Kiss the Sky. So this is Rose and Connor's book, and hear me out, okay? Reading the Addicted series from Lo and Lily's perspective, like, I didn't really care about Rose and Connor, to be very honest. Like, they were cute. I love the academic rivals vibe, but as a couple, they never really intrigued me. They were both just kind of meh characters to me just because I could not relate to either of them. They're very smart. They're kind of know-it-alls, which sometimes annoys me because I personally just don't vibe with those kind of people. So this book is told from Rose and Connor's point of view, which I did enjoy. Like, just because I could not connect to the characters themselves in the other books, I like getting inside their head and like learning more about them. And it was very interesting. There are definitely some things in here that I was not expecting. If you know, you know. But Mr. Cobalt, sir, where did that come from? I was very surprised by this, but the plot was still super dramatic to me, and that's why I gave it 4 out of 5, because it's about them on a reality show. And it was interesting. Like, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was gonna be going in, because I read the back and I was like, what do you mean it's gonna be a reality show about them? I wasn't a fan of that. Did not like that concept. In this universe, I am getting attached to all of these characters, even though they all managed to piss me off a lot. But it's weird because it's like, so far, this isn't my favorite series ever, but I still think about these characters. So the next book I read was on Kindle Unlimited. Your girl got a Kindle. Like, I'm in deep now. This is a problem. Well, actually, it's not, because I've been saving a little bit of money. No, I haven't. No, I haven't. I bought a Kindle this month and I actually really love it so far. I can do a more in-depth video on the Kindle itself because I know a lot of people have questions about it and if they should invest in one, because I also had those same questions. I read Games We Play. It's a very short, spicy read. Joker is like this gamer and Quinn is a reporter, so she comes to his house to interview him about some things, and next thing you know, things are heating up. So that was a good, fun, quick, smutty read. I think it's only 90 pages. I enjoyed it. I gave it a 3 out of 5. If you are into reading something, you just need something quick and nasty, I highly recommend Games We Play, especially if you have a Kindle. It's free. Okay, the moment we've all been waiting for. Hothouse Flower, which is the 5th book from the Addicted series. Technically, it's the 2nd book in the Calloway Sisters series, but it's the 5th book in the Addicted series if you're going in the suggested order. It's weird, so I just say it's the 5th book because I'm going in the suggested order, right? So like Kiss the Sky, where you get Rose and Connor's perspective, this follows Daisy and Reich. I love them so much. Reich and Daisy were the first 2 characters I could relate to from this series. These two, just as characters on their own, I felt so attached. So I was excited to start this because I've loved them this entire series. And everyone was telling me that I was gonna love this and it was definitely gonna change how I view the series. Y'all were not lying. Daisy is a model and she's just kind of struggling with her modeling career because low-key she doesn't want to do it, but like her mom forces her to. And Reich is still being Reich, still trying to make sure Lo is staying sober, and he's also a rock climber, so he's planning on free climbing these big mountain ranges. This book was so fun. It felt like you were traveling with them, and then seeing their relationship grow was amazing. I loved it. 5 out of 5. Legit my favorite couple in the series. My favorite book from the series so far. Could not put this down. My average time for reading books in the Addicted series has been like 2 to 3 days. I finished this in a day. Reich and Daisy literally justified every single thought I've had reading the series, and I needed that. Like, I needed to feel like my feelings were validated for some reason. I don't know why. That's never happened to me with the series, where I'm like, I need characters from the series to validate me, which is insane. Like, they don't exist, but I got so much validation from them. 5 out of 5. The next book I picked up was Throttled by Lauren Asher. This is the first book in the Dirty Air series. So we are following Noah and Maya. Noah is a very popular F1 racer. He's kind of a hotshot, sleeps around, kind of the bad boy rep, you know. Maya just graduated college, and her brother Santi is an F1 racer as well. Noah and Santi do not like each other. They are rivals, but then Santi ends up being Noah's teammate. That's how Maya and Noah end up meeting, because she goes on tour with her brother. It's not really a tour, but like he's competing, so she's just going with them as they travel. That's how she meets Noah, but she's kind of like trying not to like him because he's her brother's rival. I did enjoy getting into this universe because I've never read about F1 racers before, so it was very interesting to kind of like learn about. But this was not my favorite book. I kind of struggled getting through it. The rivalry between Noah and Santi, it was there, but it didn't really feel like a big deal. I don't think they had enough of that rival aspect that I was kind of expecting. Maya and Noah's relationship, I also struggled with connecting with. In this book, it feels like so much happened, but nothing happened at all, if that makes sense. Like, it just felt like I was following them racing, which is fine, but I just didn't get the connection between Noah and Maya, and they kept saying it in here like we have chemistry, blah blah blah, but I just did not feel that with them. So they were just like a meh couple to kind of read about. I am so excited for the rest of the series because a lot of people say they struggle with the first book. As they continue with the series, like each book gets better and better, and I'm so excited for the second book because it follows two characters that were introduced in here. I was a little disappointed that I didn't like this as much as I thought I was going to, but it's fine because I'm going to continue with the series and I've heard a lot of good things about the other books. After I read Throttled, I went back to my Kindle because I went home for Thanksgiving break and I didn't bring any books with me. So I was just looking through stuff through the Kindle Unlimited library and I found There Are No Saints. I loved it so much that I had to buy the physical copy. Are we surprised? No. This follows Cole and Mara. Cole is a very talented, popular artist in San Francisco. Mara is kind of an inspiring artist. Like, she's struggling a lot. She's literally a starving artist. Cole is a serial killer. Yeah, you heard me right. Another artist, Alistair Shaw, who is Cole's rival, he's also a serial killer. So you have two serial killers. Are you interested? Because I was. Shaw and Cole do not like each other, but they work together, so they kind of like have that animosity, but they don't really do anything about it. You know, it's just kind of like, meh, okay, you go kill your people, I'll kill my people, and we'll make art. No, literally. One day at this like gallery kind of event, Mara shows up and Cole and Shaw are looking at her and Cole's like, no, I don't like her. And Shaw is kind of like, I want to kill her. So Shaw has his way of killing people and Cole has his way of killing people. But for Mara, they're both looking at her. And Shaw sees it as a game, but for some reason, Cole wants to protect Mara from him. So he begins stalking her. Talking about this book makes me sound so chaotic, but it's so good. It's so interesting. I was going through this like, how the hell am I going to root for a serial killer, you know? But I did. This was the first book that I read by Sophie Lark, and she intrigued me so much that I decided to pick up her other books. So let's talk about that, shall we? I picked up Brutal Prince, which is the first book from the Brutal Birthright series by Sophie Lark. I don't know what Sophie puts in her books, but it's crack. It's just straight up drugs. Brutal Prince follows Callum and Ida. Ida is the daughter of the Italian like mafia leader, and then Callum is the son of the Irish mafia leader. It's established from the start that the Irish and the Italian mafias, like, they do not get along. They have a long history of being rivals. One day, Ida and her brothers crash a party that Callum is having at his place. Ida accidentally, or purposefully actually, sets his library on fire, and that starts their feud. So Callum and Ida do not get along. Like, they have a big, heavy feud that gets their father's attention. Callum's dad and Ida's dad end up talking and coming to a conclusion that in order for them to settle their feud, they need to get married. You had me there. Like, they have to get married and they hate each other. Like, this isn't your typical, oh, enemies to lovers, like they just say mean shit. No, they literally try to unalive each other. It's so good though. Like, I was so entertained. One thing I really do like about Sophie Lark is the fact that all of her female main characters are so strong, so funny, witty, smart. They are not just submissive female characters, and I love that so much. These girls are firecrackers and they do not put up with anyone's shit, and I love reading books about strong female characters. I love in Sophie's books you see that the men clearly have power. You have Cole, who is a serial killer and is a really talented artist, and then Cal, who is the son of the Irish mafia boss or whatever. So these men have power, and then you have the female love interests who don't care. Like, they don't care how powerful they are. They do not let themselves get stepped over by men. I think that's why I fall in love with Sophie's character so much, because she gives the female characters a voice and she does not make them submissive. They dish it out just as well as the guys do, and I love that. We love girl bosses. We love girl power, strong, independent women. If you are looking for a series or an author who gives female main characters their due and actually like makes them likable, I highly recommend you check out Sophie Lark's books. All of them are free on Kindle Unlimited. That's how I've been reading them. These were the books that I read this month, plus my Kindle on top. I didn't really read a lot of standalones, which kind of sucks if you don't want to start a series, so I apologize if this video didn't give you a lot of good recommendations, but if you are in need of a good series to start, I highly recommend the Addicted series, the Dirty Air series, and the Brutal Birthright series. As usual, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you like me, please subscribe, and I will see y'all next time. Mwah.